The filter-free diary. Uh,
Yeah, let's just keep going, right? Let's just knock these all out, even though we've never successfully done 5 in a row. I notice our pattern, we only ever get to 4, but let's just see how far we can knock this shot out. Did I already say it's 11:32? Okay. Yeah, I missed the time once a couple of days back. I couldn't believe I missed it. Do I remember what it was? No. But I forgot to say it. If I saw the episode, I'd remember. Okay, so anyways. So since we're talking about the ELs, the shepherds, I thought I would take a look at the Bible and see what kind of patterns it has for the shepherds, because I don't know how perceptive you are. I don't know how much of you can pick up what I'm actually laying down, but even in the stories that man decided to write down, Spirit's still doing the thing. Spirit's still doing the thing. That's why you can have a story about Cain and Abel, and you can say that Cain killed Abel, and he was a bad brother, and man can write that down and have no idea that he's actually writing his own confession. He's saying the number 3 killed the number 1. And so obviously Spirit can do the things regardless of what man's doing, because man, as smart as it is kind of ignorant. Yeah, I am too, just so you know. Like, I've watched some episodes where I'm like, I didn't even get you were saying that at that time, and Spirit's like, yeah, I'm awesome. And yeah, Spirit is awesome, and I don't always know how it does those things. Like, it's really wild when you realize that Spirit put things right over my head, and I'm the one filming this and doing this thing. But I mean, you can see whatever you want to see if you can see. Anyways. Yeah, right? And you can hear whatever you want to hear if you can hear. Give me your Bible bullshit. Okay. Yeah, nowhere in any of it is it like, and Spirit's going to teach you the numbers. That is the bottom line. But nowhere in any of the funny stories is it ever like, look at the numbers. Because each and every individual piece is a story, right? And you could just spin off for millennia. Anyway. So the real point of this was like to look at the Bible, the books in the Bible, and see, did Spirit do a thing there too? And yes, I fucking did. I love it. Okay, so I'm looking at the computer because it has a list, and I'll show you real quick. Can you see this? Old Testament books of the Bible? And this is, we didn't cut anybody out. We put them all in there. And so I was looking, how many ELs are there actually in the Bible? And you know what? There's only ELs in the Old Testament. There's no ELs in the New Testament. The ELs in the Old Testament, let's see if I can do this. Samuel and Samuel, 1st and 2nd Samuel. And then you have to go all the way here. Ezekiel, Daniel, and Joel. And do you know what all 5 of those ELs, do you know what all 5 of those ELs have in common? They're all prophets. They're all prophets. And the cool thing about Samuel 1 and Samuel 2 is that's a 12, right? Fucking there. Not sure if you even recognize that. But in the first one, Samuel's alive, right? He's a prophet that is alive. And in the second one, Samuel is dead. Samuel reflected himself from life to death. How cool is that? That pattern is right there. And you may be like, well, those books are really about how King David was awesome. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He literally had one of his soldiers, someone who is like pledging his life to him, murdered so he could steal his wife. That's not awesome. That's disgusting. That's an abuse of power and the reason why man shouldn't have power. Anyways. So yeah, so all those ELs in their Old Testament are all prophets. All of them are prophets. All of them are angels. All of them All of them. All 5 of them. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Because it's like, hey, look, there's the throne right there. And spirit can still do the thing and man can have no clue, because you know what? Does man ever really pay attention to anything but itself? Not if you're living in this day and age and looking around. Anyways. Because I don't need to be all angry all the time. Just when I'm dirty. Okay. So the next thing I looked at, I was like, oh, ELs. Huh. 5 of them. Look at that. How awesome. Inside your own book that you have no idea what's happening in that shit. Even though you want to be like, yes, they're King David. Yeah, fuck your King David. He's an asshole. Anyways, and then I looked in the New Testament, and of course there are no ELs, but you know what there are? I'm gonna flip it around again. In the New Testament, there are nations. There are nations. There's no Israel, but that's okay. There are still nations. There's Romans. That's the first nation. That is number 6. That is number 6. And then Corinthians and Galatians and Ephesians and Philippians and Colossians and Thessalonians. And you know what? I went to Thessaloniki. That is a place I can cooperate. That is a group of people. Yes, it is. And you know what? There are 9 of those groups of people. Do you know who number 10 is? Who doesn't fit the pattern? The Hebrews. The Hebrews. Everybody else ending in an A-N-S. Hebrews? No, you fucked it up. You're number 10. You're Pluto. You do not belong. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that in your own fucking holy book. You do not belong. Okay. Have a good afternoon, morning, whatever.